welcome back to Christy Cooks for Life. Today I'm going to work on an enchilada sauce. So what would be the easiest thing to do would be to buy the enchilada sauce in the can whenever you want to make enchiladas or anything Mexican. But unfortunately, those all come with a lot of sodium. So I found a recipe online for homemade enchilada sauce because actually I've never made that before. And I'm going to create it in a way so that it is the lowest sodium possible. So in my pan, I have 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And you want to make sure that it's hot enough that when you put the spice mixture in, that it sizzles. And in this bowl, I have 3 tablespoons of flour. I have 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I have a teaspoon of cumin. A half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, which is gonna give it that earthy flavor. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna actually whisk that in to this oil very carefully. I don't know if you can hear that sizzle, but it's sizzling. Make sure we get that stirred around. We want it to cook for just a couple minutes to make sure that it changes color, it gets a little brown. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna whisk in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I got that right here, so we're gonna go ahead and put 2 tablespoons in. Again, you know me, I'm not big on measuring when we're just cooking, or being exact, I should say. So we'll leave that there. I'm gonna mix this around. Gosh, that feels like it's a little hot to me. So I'm gonna see how that pan is, the steam's coming off of it. So I took it off the burner because I'm going to add in the low sodium vegetable broth. We're gonna be really super careful with that because we don't want to splash it all over the place. So let's slowly add that in. That's gonna help deglaze the pan, deglaze the pan. Say that fast 3 times. So let's start stirring that up. We'll turn the heat back up a little bit. Get that mixed around in there. Ooh, I'm making a mess. Keep that going. Add some more vegetable broth. This is 2 cups of low sodium vegetable broth that we got going on in there. So I'm gonna keep whisking that around, whisking that so you don't get any lumps in it. There's still a few lumps in there from the tomato paste and the flour. So the idea is to not add all the broth at once so you can make sure that you can get those lumps out of there. It's starting to look like enchilada sauce, I have to say. So pour the rest of that in there. And then we're gonna, bring that up to temperature. And the flour in there is gonna help thicken this up to make it like a nice sauce. So we're gonna let that cook for a little bit. Bring that back up to temperature. And the idea is it's still a little loose, so you wanna keep stirring that until it thickens up a little bit. Shouldn't take too long, because pretty much everything was at room temperature. I actually had that vegetable broth left over, so I took it out of the fridge, let it sit on the counter for a while to make sure that it was at room temperature to help speed this along a little bit and it doesn't tighten up. Sometimes when you mix cold ingredients with a hot pan, it tightens up a little too quickly and you don't really develop those flavors like you'd like to. So this is coming along nicely. It's starting to bubble a little bit on the edges. I'm gonna use the spoon. It's still got some good stuff on it. So I'm gonna put that in there. Make sure we get all that flavor in there. For a little resistance to the spoon, which it's getting there. And the thing is, you don't have to worry too much because once you shut the heat off, it's going to thicken up even more. So you really just wanna make sure that you have a good start on it. And I think we are honestly almost there. That is, it's not super runny. Let go just a little bit more. A little too bubbly there. So the nice thing about this sauce is once I get it made, I'm gonna be able to keep it to use for several recipes. And that's why I wanted to show you guys that, sometimes making your own basic ingredients really helps eliminate the sodium for the finished product. So later today, part of this is going to be used to make a black bean enchilada casserole that Chris and I like a lot. That'll be what we use this for today, and then I'm pretty sure there'll be some left over that I can use in another recipe later. So the last thing that we want to do, now that this has thickened up a little bit, is we're going to add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, which I'm almost out of. I'm going to have to get some more of that soon. So we're going to stir that in there. And then just to add another element of heat, because you know we've already got that chili powder and cumin, got that earthy flavor going, we're gonna crank in quite a bit of black pepper in here. So probably a tablespoon or two, I'd say, would be a good amount to start with. And then you're just gonna taste it and see how it tastes to you. You know, everybody likes the heat in their sauces a little bit differently. I don't know if you guys can see. Look how nice and rustic that looks. It's gonna be a nice earthy flavor to go over those enchiladas. Now that is super hot, and I do want to taste it, but let that cool off a little bit because I do not want to get burnt on my enchilada sauce. Oh my gosh, that's super good. First time I ever made it, but I decided I was just gonna have the camera roll and just show you guys how easy it is to make adjustments to those foundational product or components is a better word, foundational components in your recipes, and it really cuts down on that sodium. So thank you again for joining me. This is Christy LaVine from Christy Cooks for Life. Remember to make every meal a heart healthy meal. Thanks and have a great day.